Welcome into the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise, where today we go on the road up to Detroit to take on the 8-1 Lions. Now, despite the team doing oh so well, the Lions are really favoring their defense. Top 5 in points given up per game, the #1 pass defense, and top 10 rush defense. Their offense is lacking behind, with the 31st run game, 15th passing game, and only scoring about 25 points a game puts them at 11th. But individually, a lot of their players are having some really good seasons. Jared Goff, he's a little bit over 2,200 passing, 19 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. He's completing 67% of his throws. And as for Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's having just as productive of a year. 862 yards on 60 grabs. He averages over a first down a grab and about 100 yards a game, 10 total touchdowns on the year. If we could take him out, well, then their next 2 targets have about half or less amount of total yardage. And defensively, they definitely got some dudes, which is why they're ranked so highly. Alim McNeill, 6 TFLs on the year. They are led with 8 sacks by Aiden Hutchinson. And in the secondary, Brian Branch with 3 interceptions. But not all is doing great for him. Their kicking game with Badgley is a little bit inconsistent. He's only made 71% of his field goal attempts. And rushing the ball, Gibbs hasn't had a great year either. 3.4 an average, Montgomery 3.5. Though most of the rushing touchdown success is going to Montgomery, meanwhile Gibbs has more fumbles than he has touchdowns. And heading in to this game, Coach Boston got the team together to decide how they wanted to attack this offense. And defensive captain in Hines Allen stood up talking about, hey, he's been watching film and he's noticed the center is not a great pass blocker. We should look to blitz and blitz directly down the middle. Additionally, Boston wanted to give the secondary a little bit of a morale boost, and we got a deal done with Andre Cisco. It'll be worth $22 million over 4 years. And with our Jags coming off a really strong game against the Vikings, 2-0 against the NFC North under Coach Boston, we are underway, looking to go 3-0, as Duvernay will return this one down the middle and not getting very far, starting at the 29. Trevor Lawrence coming on out with the offense. Had an interesting game last time against that Vikings team. The biggest worry that we've had with him is just the inconsistency. Also, ETN left that game later on. He's out there to start this one, and they go his way, just back to the line. Big old DJ Reader down the middle to help slow it down. Got to worry about him and Alim McNeill. 2nd and 10. Still under the center and going right back down the middle, this time for a loss of 1. Jaguars will have a 3rd and 11. As they come out with trips to the right-hand side, Kirk Lone to the left. Lawrence back in the pocket. As he fires across the middle, it gets picked off. That's Campbell, who's looking for a return here, and he might have an angle until Cleveland met his kneecap down at the 10. But he gives the ball to the Lions on the doorstep. That's definitely one of those plays that Lawrence just forced when he didn't have to, under pressure, and giving up a big play. A punt would have been much better, as Gibbs to the outside. He finds his 2nd touchdown on the season, and Lions immediately answer off that interception. They take an early 7-0 lead at home. A pretty rough start there for the Jaguars, who go nowhere first and 2nd down, then throw the pick on 3rd. Now down by a touchdown, they start with a spread look here. And waiting, they've got Kirk, and arguably could have been picked off again. There were several options, and Trevor Lawrence probably chose the worst of those options. 2nd and 10. Still have not gained a single yard today. With a heavy set, they go ETN. Number 3 in rushing this season, and he's going to pick up a good chunk there. Let's say he needs one more, so on 3rd, they bring out a heavy set fullback, technically tight end, and Strange. Let's go the weak side run, cutting towards the strong and picking up the 1st. So far this year, the offense really has gone by way of ETN. If he has a good game, so does the rest of the crew. 1st and 10. Going with the drag across is Christian Kirk, and he's got the 1st down, out with about a gain of 11. Lawrence definitely has all the weapons you can ask for out there. He's just struggled to deliver that good ball. 1st and 10. They bring the blitz, swinging it out to Etienne, and he's going to rumble for a gain of 8. All in all, he's been a fantastic back for this new look offense with the Jags. 2nd and 2. They go play action his way, and going with that quick little flip, they find Evan Ingram. He had a really big first game. Haven't quite seen him have as big of a performance the last couple games. See if they get him going here, as it looks like that's where Lawrence is looking. Tipped away. Looked like it was good placement from Lawrence. His receiver just couldn't bring it in. So 2nd and 10 at the 31. They go back to Etienne. He's down the middle, and he trucks through the safety. Big moves there from, it was a little bit more of the agility back for the Jaguars. Saw a little bit more of the power back at the end of the last game. DeGuara, he's open again, and he's got another touchdown. This offense loves their tight end 3. Jaguars answer back 7-7 here in Detroit. And that'll be for the first time Lions coming out here for a full drive, not starting inside their own 10. Instead, back at the 29. They get motion, an awkward motion from Laporta. Handing it back off Gibbs. He slips one, and he's going to pick up a nice gain. Cisco's shaking off, and he's going to rumble all the way to the 44. 2 big runs from Gibbs. Maybe he heard all the trash talk prior to the start of this game about the lack of running success. But then Walker just slapped him and he fell down, so who knows? I'm sure there'll be the excuse used, oh, he slipped. He didn't actually just get smacked down, but it looked like Walker did. And of course, Walker coming off a great game against the Vikings with 3 picks and a pick from Jarian Jones. He had one last week in his first career start. He gets one in his 2nd start as well. That new slot corner looking mighty fine here for Jacksonville. And of course it helps that he took that ball away from Amon-Ra St. Brown. Key to success today, get some blitzes going and keep the ball away from Amon-Ra. Etienne down the middle, he'll pick up 6. He had 121 yards last week. He's already at 32 here today. We're not even to the end of the first quarter. Spread look here for Lawrence. Sitting back in the pocket. Across the middle, he's got another rookie in Thomas. Rumbling up to the 43. There's a lot of good pieces here in Jacksonville. And interim head coach Madison Boston trying to get the best out of them as they go Etienne. It'll be a shorter gain, just 3. And as we learned last week, sometimes we need a little bit more rotation at that spot. Bigsby comes on out here for a 2nd down. Strange in motion, all 3 tight ends out there currently. As they go to Tank, down the middle, but getting ripped down with a maybe gain of 1 or 2. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 6 for what could be the final play of this first quarter. Strange again in motion, gonna shuffle to that right-hand side. Play action, a flag is already down. They got a receiver open to that right-hand side. They find DeGuara coming up about a yard short of the 1st down, but we're gonna have to check this penalty. And it was instantaneous holding. So we'll head to the end of the first quarter with a question in mind as the Lions declined the penalty. 4th and 1. Do we go for it or do we punt? And I think we know exactly what Madison Boston's going to do. Offense stays on out. 3 tight ends all to that right-hand side. They hand this one off Etienne, and the left side forgot to block. It's Davenport, surprisingly on the field, but he's also getting the 4th down stop. It will be a turnover on downs. And it was Ezra Cleveland who just got blown up on that play. Lions take over plus side as they go Gibbs yet again. Walker meets him. There's a little help from Campbell. It looks like he's picking up right where he left off last week. With a loss of 1 at 2nd and 11 and an empty set. 4 options all to that left-hand side, though a little bit of motion. Amon-Ra going to go behind as they set up the screen to him. Jones out there does not pick a good angle to dive at. But there's no problem as fellow teammate Ringo gets the stop. 3rd and 7. They will look to pass the ball. Walker wraps all the way around, and a pick from Campbell. We've picked off Goff twice today. He came into this game with only 2 interceptions on the season. A phenomenal performance here, and perhaps that new contract for Cisco being a reason why. Etienne down the middle here rumbles for a gain of 4. And that just so happens to appear to be the word of the day. Rumbles with the I form to follow. Play action. Looking for something downfield. Nothing quite opens up. Check down to Strange. Will maybe get back to the line. But with a 3rd and 6. It's a 4-man front. Aleem jumps, but he gets back on side before Lawrence snaps the ball. Lawrence actually waits quite a while before he decides to snap the ball. Throwing underneath, he's got Ingram. And it's another 4th and short at about the midfield line. Well, Lawrence seems pretty insistent that they stay out there. Boston will let them. Once again, they did not get the conversion last time. Hard count, no one jumps. Lawrence taking his time here, snaps the ball. They go back to Ingram, and he drops it. He had the first down. Lions forced 2 turnover on downs, and 2 Lions players just ran to the opposite team's sideline. Either 1, check them for concussions, or 2, penalize them and give us a free first down here. Last I checked, you definitely can't go to the other team's sideline. 1st and 10. Lions once again starting in plus side. They get motion and play action. They find their target. That's Williams, not being suspended, and he's down to the 21. Great job on that play action for the O-line and anyone else set to block, because they sent the blitz and no one was able to get back there. Gibbs, a little bit of pressure and getting dropped by Lloyd just back to the line. That seems to be a pretty common occurrence today. Either the play ends at the line or it's a big gain. 2nd and 10. Goff looking to throw the ball. Mesh concept here as they go back to Williams. He gets smacked around for a gain of 8. And it does leave him still needing 2 here at the 13. Bunch goes to the left-hand side. Laporta to the right. Free rusher. They swing it out to Gibbs, but Campbell's all over it. Will be a loss on the play. Loss of 5. A field goal unit coming out here for the Lions. We saw that Bagley hasn't had a great season, missing a good handful. This time, though, he sends it right down the middle. Lions retake that lead, 10-7. And with 2 drives failing for the Jaguars on a 4th down attempt, with 2:55 left, they need to find a way to answer. Every team has 3 timeouts, and it's an empty set to start the drive. Lawrence dropping back. He's got his receiver and a perfect throw and an even better catch. Christian Kirk. He put that one in the tightest of windows, and it gets us to our trouble spot on the field here, that midfield line. Setting up the tight end screen. Blockers couldn't get out there. It's a loss of 2. And will be the 2-minute warning as well with a 2nd and 12. Spread look here. They go with a draw. ETN swallowed up. Great job from the DT there. Fight off the block and get the stop. It's about a gain of 1, so we got a 3rd and 11 here. Lawrence under center as he drops back. Firing to the right-hand side is Kirk. And it's 4th and 3 at the 42. Will the 3rd time be the charm? Just so close, but too far for that field goal. Hard count, no one jumps. It's a heavy tight end set, and someone moves much later. And it's going to be encroachment, so that's going to be a free first down. Remind me to send a thank you letter to Aleem McNeil. And now at the 37, they bring the blitz, getting it out to the screen just in time. Etienne with a block, he slips under it. He's going to rumble for a gain of 12. There goes that word. Perhaps we need a thesaurus up here in the booth. Empty set here for Lawrence. Rolling to the right-hand side. He's got a welcome mat in front of him. Going to run, does not get the block. And he's down to the 3. A timeout called there. 17 seconds left in the half. And it'll be a bunch. Tight look to the left-hand side. Also have a tight receiver. Davis to the right-hand side. Lawrence takes the snap. And he's got a little window, but dropped by Kirk. Ended up just ricocheting off his hands. 13 seconds left in the pistol. Etienne down the middle. Maybe a gain of 1. Boston will end up calling another timeout, and it is 3rd and goal. Though it doesn't look like Lawrence likes the look here, he's changing things. 9 seconds left in the half. 3rd down, got to find the touchdown here. Kirk goes all the way to the left-hand side. Snapping the ball, drag open, and a touchdown for Evan Ingram. Jacksonville takes the lead here at halftime, 14-10. It's been a good battle, mistakes from both sides. But the Jaguars finish this half on top. And that continues the streak of really good play here as we've been playing the NFC North teams. A lot of things to correct for sure from that first half. Mistakes have been made. 2 4th down conversions that went awry for us finally hit on that third. We'll see what Boston has in store for us in the second half, but let's take a look around the league. Starting first in Tennessee as the Vikings, the team we just played last week, up 13-3. Vikings trying to get their 3rd win of the season. Meanwhile, Tennessee trying to climb back up to 500. As for our next game, going a little bit northeast, we have the Steelers hosting the Ravens. Ravens up 14-3. Steelers trying to not drop to 500. Meanwhile, Ravens trying to climb into better playoff positioning. As for the last studio update, we have the Bears and the Packers. And it is a close game there going towards halftime, 17-14. The Packers are in front, so the away team's doing pretty well today. Can we manage to continue that? Only time will tell, but so far today, defense has played very well. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been kept quiet with the young star cornerbacks here that we have with Jacksonville. Starting with a pass, and they get Sam Laporta. He leaked out on the tight end wheel. Cisco spins him out of bounds. That's a big play to start the second half as Laporta finally gets a catch. Jags were sitting in man coverage there, so someone just lost track of their guy. 1st and 10 down to the 24. Bringing the blitz. Oluwakin, he hits home. Gonna be a loss of 9 on the play. And that falls directly into what Hines Allen wanted to do today. Bring the blitz, and the blitz works. 2nd and 19. Oluwakin back on the blitz as he's working his way back there. 2 straight sacks. Another loss of 6 on this play. And it pushes the Lions all the way back to the 39. It is 3rd and 25. Bunch goes to the right-hand side, Laporta to the left. As Goff sitting back in the pocket, pressure pushing that pocket backwards. He throws it out just before taking a 3rd straight sack. Now will they send out the field goal unit or punt? And they will decide to punt, but it was a good choice, a great punt. We're down at the 7. As we start with 2 to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. And they go with the RPO out to Thomas. He's going to pick up a gain of 4. Looks like the Jags just trying to create a little bit of space to work behind him. 2nd and 6. As he double clutches and throws that ball sporadically, it's going to be an easy interception for Carlton Davis. Probably the easiest of his career. Lions set up yet again. I don't know if that ball slipped out of Lawrence's hands, but it was awful. That's probably QB 101. Don't loft a pass on a slant across the middle. At the 23, the Lions start their next drive, gifted with a fantastic possession here. They go play action. And then throwing open is St. Brown. He gets a block downfield, and he does find the pylon. Someone kicked it in prior to him even crossing the line, so hard to even tell, but it's going to count here in Detroit. Lions retake the lead. And that's twice now that a wayward pass from Lawrence has led to an immediate touchdown from the Lions. Outside of being gifted drives inside their own 25, they've only managed 3 points today. The defense has done a fantastic job. The offense just got to help them out a little bit. And a gain of 9.5 for Etienne surely will, but it looks like an injured Lion on the play, DJ Reader, and he's going to have to work his way to the tunnel. His day might be done. The Jaguars facing a 2nd and inches at the 37. They go with a stretch and met in the gap, breaking off, but then getting tripped up by Davenport. Kind of got to feel a little unlucky there for Etienne. That should have been a big run. Instead, 3rd and 3. Hard count and movement, but the left DT moved, so that should be a free 1st down here for the Jags. And that is Wingo, the DT who had to step in for the injury in DJ Reader. So 1st and 10. Jaguars taking advantage of that injury as Etienne bottled up, gain of 2. Seems like the passing game a little bit iffy with the interceptions from Lawrence, so focusing on that running game to try to hopefully help balance things out as Lawrence will use his own legs, takes the contact but pushes through for an extra 1 or 2. That'll set him up at the 41 into plus side. Etienne, number 1 in the backfield. He takes the handoff again, and a good stop from the DB. Limits the gain there, just a gain of 3, 2nd and 7 at the 39. All 3 tight ends to that left-hand side, as it looks like Lawrence making some changes out there. We'll look to pass the ball, or at least try to. He finds DeGuara, had the first touchdown for the Jags today. And that one goes for a gain of a first down to the 25. The offense has moved well when they haven't thrown interceptions. Finding or looking to find a soft spot instead, he ends up being triple covered. The ironic part is, looks like Lawrence is telling his own team to calm down, but it's his throws that have been the wild ones today. 2nd and 10. Play action, picking up those blocks under pressure and getting rid of it. Ball lands between a pair of Jaguars receivers. 3rd and 10. Spread look here and trying to set up the screen, but he takes the hit as he tried to get rid of it. Wingo gets a little bit of some revenge for his earlier mistake, and it will be the field goal unit out here, Little. To tie the game, it's down the middle. With 2:33 left in the third, it is 17-17. Lions retake the field as they look to get Gibbs to the outside. Oluwakin, good flow. The Lions definitely found success in those outside runs the first drive or two, but since then, Jaguars have adapted. 2nd and line, they look for the pass and finding the grab is Gibbs. Ringo was there, but he couldn't jar it away. Really good grab there from the do-it-all running back here. Haven't seen Montgomery out there either today, so really just been Gibbs. As they look to pass the ball, Lloyd, he gets shaken off, and Hines Allen will get back there to help out his teammates. Still a sack, loss of 10. And honestly, without Lloyd getting there, that pass probably gets off in time, so good all the way around with a 2nd and 20. 3 tight ends on the left-hand side, though. They're going to motion Laporta to the right, spreading him all the way to the outside. And it looked like that one might have been intended for Amon-Ra. Lions had 2 drags across the middle, and it bounced off of, looked like both of them. So 3rd and 20. Expect them to look to pass the ball here. Swinging it out and intended for Laporta, broken up by Oluwakin, and that'll be a stop from the Jaguars defense. So as the Jaguars offense head on out, they got 43 seconds left in the quarter, and we haven't seen much from Etienne this half. Expect them to start to go his way as the 4th quarter approaches. He takes the handoff here. Flag came down pretty early on after the snap, and it looks like this one will be going backwards. They get tight end Evan Ingram on the hold. Not the best of tight ends when it comes to blocking. 1st and 20. They set up the draw, Etienne, and he can't get by Davenport. It's maybe a gain of 1 there. With a few seconds left in the third, Jags do snap that ball. And throwing it up and picked off. They didn't see Mosley sitting on the outside. Etienne sprinting over. He gets the tackle, and we head into the 4th following another interception from Trevor Lawrence. It looked like he had Kirk, but he never looked to the outside where a corner was just sitting, waiting, and he got the gift. And as we've talked about several times already today, it's happened twice. Gifted the ball inside the 25, an immediate touchdown from the Lions to follow. But that one should have been picked off by Walker. It's off his mitts. Penalty in the backfield is a holding, so we could at least back them up. We'll have to replay 1st and goal, but this time back at the 14. It's the eye set. They go with the toss to the outside, and quickly getting the stop is Oluwakin. The rookie Mason Smith is actually shaken up on the play. He's going to work his way over to the bench. Hopefully he's able to bounce back quickly. So we're going to rely a little bit more on Hamilton here down the middle. And off the hands of Williams. He definitely had a little bit of space to run around over there, but we'll take it. 3rd and goal. Still pretty far back into the back corner, overthrowing Williams. That's good because Campbell got beat by speed. Barring the Lions going for it here with a fake field goal, which I wouldn't put it by Dan Campbell. This will be at least the first non-touchdown drive, as indeed it will be, as they make the field goal following another wayward pass from Trevor Lawrence. We'll have to see how much Coach Boston lets his quarterback rumble back there, or if he just lets Etienne carry this team. First down, though, is right down the middle. Picking up that first down goes running back 1. There is still plenty of time left in this game for a lot to happen. 7 minutes left in the 4th. As they go to the weak side, Etienne with some more space. He's got another first down. Oh, this time it's Christian Kirk who's injured. And it doesn't look to be all too good. He's going to make his way to the tunnel, hopefully just precautionary as we are in the 4th quarter. We'll have to find out more information from Coach Boston. 1st and 10. They go back to Etienne. He's tracked down. First time we've seen Aiden Hutchinson today. And I'd prefer for it to be the last time we see him as well. Spread look for Lawrence. As he's got Gabe Davis, the ball is flying and flying past his wide open receiver. There was once so much promise surrounding Trevor Lawrence, and as the years have gone by, that has dwindled. 3rd and 12. Need a big play here. This time he gets Davis, who just gets down on the turn. Wonder if that's some teammates on the sideline yelling at him, just get down, let some clock roll off, as the Jags have been letting that play clock run down inside 5 before snapping it. Etienne to the right-hand side, right down the middle for 6. Hasn't been his most efficient day. That was his 20th carry, 77 yards, and Tank Bigsby checks in here for 2nd and 4. As he looks to get down the middle, he gets stuck behind his own lineman. Now the best push for him, it's a 3rd and 4 at the 32. Hard count, no one jumps. Play clock down to 1. Lawrence finally snaps that ball. Play action, rolling, has an open target and sails it behind 2 open receivers. He had Strange underneath, Thomas down the field. And it's going to be Little for a field goal attempt. He pulls to the left. No good. Lions stay up 20-17. And you just gotta feel like Boston is very frustrated with his offense. This game, very winnable. They've had every opportunity. I'm sure their defense also pretty frustrated. Lions out on offense with a throw to Amon-Ra for a gain of 9.5. If he was able to keep his feet, we're maybe talking about more there. Instead, 2nd and inches. A heavy set here. Williams in motion to the left-hand side. As they go play action that way. Pass downfield and getting by the cover of Johnson. Noah Fant, touchdown. Lions take a late 2-score lead out of nowhere. Well, it's not really out of nowhere. We know exactly where it came from. The mistakes of Trevor Lawrence. With his team now down by those 10 points with just 3:15 left, can he find a way to lead them back into this? First off, he's got to deliver some catchable balls. Across the middle, he finds Gabe Davis. Going to pick up a nice gain and expect to see some hurry up here from the offense. They, in just their previous drive, were trying to run clock, and now they're probably looking back at that as a bad idea under pressure. Looked like they were trying to get the screen set up to Etienne. Instead, had to bail out of the sack. 2:50 left here. Lawrence letting this thing develop a little bit. Going to take the scramble down the middle. Pick up that 1st down. Letting that play clock run along the way as well. Under 2.5 minutes left. Thomas is going to go over to the right-hand side. Keeping 2 to that left-hand side. They bring the blitz that way. Rolling, throwing, diving off the hands of Davis. Not sure if the little head shake there was due to the drop or the fact that he had to dive out to even get a hand on it. I'm sure the receiver is also a little frustrated here. Up for Duvernay, touchdown! Trevor Lawrence delivers a strike downfield, on target, on the move. If we could just get that every time. And Coach Boston will kick this one off to the Lions, relying on his defense. They got 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. Laporta going to motion over to the left-hand side, make that 2 receivers over there. They're actually going to look to pass the ball, and across the middle, Oluwakin dives out, but couldn't find the pick. Saves time as well. A very interesting call from Dan Campbell, but we know he will take those risks. 2:05. Motion here is Amon-Ra going to the right-hand side, leaving 2 tight ends. Another passing play called up here, dumping it off, and Laporta gets rocked by Ringo. That takes us to the 2-minute warning here. Defense needs to pick up the stop. Bunch to the right-hand side, Williams to the left. Lions looking to throw again. And broken up at the line. It's Hamilton who had to come in for the injury to Mason Smith. It's a stop on defense. It was a pass as well, not a sack, so that stops the clock. Jacksonville will take the field with 3 timeouts in their back pocket. They start at the 29. And they need just a field goal to send this thing to overtime. It's an empty set for Lawrence. We need the best from him, and he's got Davis downfield. Ball comes up short. And it leaves time for the safety to get back there and make the play. 2nd and 10 under center this time. Coming across and bumped on the route. It's going to be a pick, and it will be back to a 10-point game. No flag on the field. Even though Thomas definitely got bumped going across the middle, it could be an iffy call. Inside 5, you're allowed contact, but that, not so much. We'll take a second look at it. Thomas coming across. He actually bumps into Duvernay, his own teammate, as well as Davis, which slows him down just enough to allow Arnold to jump in front of the route. If he did not get bumped there, you look down this sideline, you maybe have the safety. Otherwise, that's going to be a big play. Instead, going the opposite way. Just a devastating play there for Lawrence. That one, not his fault, but all the other ones, they definitely were. So how do you mark that? That goes to each individual. 1st and 10, this game's still not over. Still have a chance to try to make something happen, as Lawrence having to scramble here and throw out of the sack. Hutchinson gets back there. But now with a minute 28, you got to find a touchdown, the onside, and a field goal to now have that tie. This game was so close, but it didn't stay that way. Lawrence looking to scramble here. He's going to get by the 50, angling for the 40. Goes out of the 42. If the arm isn't going to quite do it, maybe the legs will for Lawrence. That's an asset that we should utilize. Minute 20 and now counting. And again, throwing out of the sack. This offensive line definitely a work in progress. 4 go to the right-hand side. Davis loaned to the left, but he's got 2 corners and a safety over his way. Should leave someone open as they look again for Duvernay, and it's overthrown. Davis didn't even want it. So that leaves us with a 3rd and 10, obviously 4-down territory. Lawrence, he's got Ingram with a little bit of space, and he's got the touchdown angle with 1:04 left. Jaguars back into the end zone now from here. Do they go for that onside, or do they try to just kick it back? They will send out the onside team to try to get this ball back. They send it into the next level, and it is stopped by Williams. Lions offense take the field, but not in plus territory. They are not inside field goal range. Jacksonville do have 3 timeouts. This game is not over yet, though. Gibbs, he finds a seam, and he might have his way to the end zone. Campbell in pursuit, stops him at the 1. First timeout called there. You get the stop at the goal line, you force the field goal. Touchdown could win it. And I'm sure that's why Boston is pretty glad that Campbell got that stop. As they go this time, Montgomery, he is swallowed up. Second timeout called. They've got 1 more remaining. They also could just look to run out the clock. Though as they come out here with a shotgun look, you gotta wonder if they might actually just try to pass this one. They do hand it off and quickly stop, brings up 3rd and goal. They will have to at least run 1 play here, which will leave them with about 6 seconds. But considering we cannot stop the clock following this play, they should just be able to kneel it out. We'll have to hope we could get a kick return. As the field goal unit comes out here, they'll let this run all the way down to about 5 seconds. And they're now up by 6 with 4 seconds left on the clock. And the Jaguars do the unthinkable here. Final play of the game. 4 receivers all the way to that right-hand side. Davis to the left. Not prevent defense for the Lions. Lawrence letting things develop here, rolling. And then throwing downfield. It's Thomas, but he can't break the tackle. It's just to pad the stats. This game comes to an end. Lions win it 37-31. Both teams made plenty of mistakes. But you kind of got to feel after this one, which was already a hot seat for Trevor Lawrence. Is there a bigger possibility of him being benched after this one and Mac Jones having an opportunity? Lawrence finished completing just 51% of his throws, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Now, one of those interceptions was not his fault, but definitely was a cause of concern. It opened the door and ultimately led to us losing this game. And catching up with Boston after the game, he did say that Christian Kirk suffered a torn labrum, so he's going to miss the next couple of games. Good news is there's a bye in between. And as for the quarterback debate, it will be handled in-house. They'll take a look at all of their options, but for right now, Lawrence is the best option that they've had. And I think that phrase "have had" is a pretty key one from Coach Boston, as this is a really good quarterback draft class, at least supposed to be. If the NFL can't do anything about developing quarterbacks anymore, we've got a strong arm at the top here, an improviser, and a second strong arm just in the top 5. We then have a good variety for the remainder of, and we are slowly working our way up this list, scouting up to 30%. So with the play of Lawrence, we might now have to start looking at these quarterback options. And outside of Tua, really all of the quarterbacks are under contract for a while, so it might have to be looking for the draft if we are to make a change at quarterback. But Boston will have some time before we meet the Texans to decide how he wants to move forward. We've got the bye here in week 12, Texans in week 13. It was a good game today. We were able to battle back from mistakes, but ultimately too many mistakes piled up, and Lawrence kind of had the unclutch gene. We'll see if Boston can correct that next time. Hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down to the sub button and definitely tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live, and you'll get to see how we're able to do against the Texans. This series every single Tuesday and Thursday. College Football 25 Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we will see you next time as we meet a pretty good Texans team.